Welcome back everybody to another Pick Your Poison tournament cast, the event organized by Daniela and her guys. Big shout out to them, thanks a lot for organizing the entire thing and putting on this great show for all of us. Today I bring to you guys a matchup between two round 1 underdogs who managed to prevail, J0N-PERKINS and ForeRuthless. Both of these matches I think I have cast, at least I'm positive about having cast ForeRuthless, not too sure about Mr. Perkins, but nonetheless we're gonna see them face off here in round 2 and see which of the underdogs here is the ultimate that is going to manage to get into the round of 4, which is going to be a massively impressive achievement for both of these guys, whoever ends up being able to prevail. This has the potential to become one of my favorite series of the tournament. We've got two guys who are very closely matched in ELO, two underdog winners of round 1, of course. We've got Golden Swamp as the first map, which is my favorite map so far. And we've got Mongols and Koreans, who are two of my favorite civs. So, man, I really want to see how this one goes. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Don't want to set the expectations too high for these two guys. But let's find out which one of them is able to get into round 3 of the tournament. ForeRuthless against J0N-PERKINS. Game 1, round 2 of the event. Winner goes to the semifinals. Best of 3, let's dive into it. For this first game matchup, it's going to be the Malians against the Koreans. As I said before, Koreans, a civ that I absolutely love. I haven't actually played them a lot, but I think they're so cool. And thanks, Silver Python, for checking out the stream in the chat. I'll see you guys, see you around as well. And yeah, always a pleasure to have you around. Alright. But as I was saying, Malians versus Koreans, let's check out the bonuses first. On the left side, it's ForeRuthless. Playing as the Malians, super strong civ these days. Got a lot of love in the April patch. Mainly the gold bonus being much stronger now, and also just in general a good infantry civ that with the infantry patch as a whole is going to be happy with where they stand. Getting 1 extra pierce armor per age on all of your barracks units is super strong as well though. In Imp that's going to be 3 extra pierce armor, and that on on Pikemen, that's going to be great, especially in Trash Wars. On the Longswordsmen, it's going to be awesome, of course, if you're playing against archer civs. And the Koreans with their cavalry archers, I gotta say, I might have some issues with that pierce armor bonus that Malians get. So, might be pretty good choice for this one. Now, let's finally get on over the two Koreans, though. I think that's the first time I'm casting them in this tournament. Might be mistaken there, but it feels like it. In any case, this is such a cool civ. They have extra line of sight on their villages, which is one of my favorite bonuses in the game. It really feels so good having that vision on your villages. It makes it much easier to spot scout attacks or even archer raids on your wood line, for example. Look at this. Look at this guy, how much vision he has. Makes it super easy to scout around a bit with your villages too, right? I mean, just being able to spot sheep, spot rhinos, whatever early on, if you're wandering out to even just place those houses. I gotta say, it's one of those bonuses that don't change the game a lot, but I think are sneakily having a bigger impact than people are giving them credit. On top of that though, there's much more of them. Faster working stone miners, super cool bonus again. That allows you to hit interesting castle, town center, or tower timings that other civs don't get. Free tower upgrades are super good though. I mean, just think about it. You typically don't research that very often, but if you're going for a strategy with a few towers in there, that's just so much extra value that you get for free. It's one of those buildings that are rarely getting upgraded, but if you get those for free, that opens up, again, such creative angles. Archer armor upgrades for free is super nice as well. I mean, you guys know how often that tech gets picked up it feels like virtually every game on every Civ. Of course, that's a gross exaggeration, but you get it. That's just such a nice little bonus too, and you might even consider that an eco bonus of some sort as well, so just because of how essential that tech is, especially if you want to go into cavalry archers, which the unique unit, the war wagon, precisely is. It's a really obscure unit that people don't actually love as much, I don't think, but just like the regular cavalry archer in large groups, it has immense value. So if the Koreans can get to a stage where they're able to get a bunch of these, might be really scary for any opponent, even the seemingly well-suited Malians to deal with. And who could forget, of course, the turtle ship here. Maybe we're gonna see one. I would be more than thrilled if we actually were able to see that. Although sadly, late game naval warfare hasn't really been the the thing that we tend to see on this map. Alright, I've taken a lot of time here raving about the Koreans and the Malians to some lesser extent, so much so that the Malians are already up to feudal age, so let's dive into the actual game now. We've got fishing ships coming out for both sides, but it's definitely the timing advantage for ForeRuthless here, who's already got 3 of them out, is on the way to feudal age. And on the other side, the Koreans are sitting on that one fishing ship, aren't even queuing up anymore, curiously. Also, 20 seconds later, we're able to click up to feudal age, apparently, but just that one lone fishing ship here is pretty surprising there. J0N-PERKINS not getting more of those out here. Wonder if that serves a bigger purpose, so to speak. And going to be interesting to see how the strategies evolve from here. You can go a couple different ways, but neither of these guys played a long Dark Age. We're getting to see those 20 will click ups for both of them, so it's gonna be definitely longer feudal ages. Nobody trying to cheat themselves to castle age, I don't think. And we have the barracks now for Ruthless. I wonder what the strategies are gonna look like. We see double dock right now for the Malians. Looks like it's gonna be water focus at first. With J0N-PERKINS on just one dock. We'll see if he's able to keep up with the border production. It looks like here out of the gate it's not as... he's a bit behind there. Queuing up the fire galleys out of the one dock, and only now does the second dock start going up. So for now, our 12th seed here in the west has actually gotten the edge early on here over the Koreans, who are actually housed right now, picking up Town Watch, which is a pretty good thing to do early on. So I don't think he's gonna be kicking himself for that, but still just another one of these things that delays your ship production here and puts you even a bit further behind there on water. ForeRuthless actually wrapping around the north with their ships, avoiding the enemy scouts' vision, and we see the first naval engagement here probably. Okay, there we go. Malians trying to get the jump here on J0N-PERKINS and harassing that fishing ship here. It's actually 2 of them now, so I really wonder why he took so long making a second one there. And instead trying to harass the enemy's fish now on the flip side. Wonder if that's gonna be a good idea, because those Korean fishing ships are on the run here. Don't think they're gonna be making it home safely tonight, boys. And not even gonna be able to take out an opponent's fishing ships by the look of it. So the start to this feudal age, not ideal for the Koreans, I don't think. Again, it is a Civ that is known for the tower play. Maybe could have tried to make something happen with that, which I think on this map we saw this yesterday in the series between Nessie and Chapterberger. But well-placed tower play on this map can really mess with the enemy's eco to a big extent, because the eco really is super constrained at home. You don't have a lot of room to expand into there, and that's something that maybe going forward J0N-PERKINS could still try and go for. So far the naval warfare isn't lost just yet though. The trades are still pretty close, and wow, able to actually get this one fire ship here to safety for a second, but still able to win this engagement here, and so far he's been able to prevail a little bit and actually has the better numbers right now on the water. Still behind in economy though. In terms of villagers, we see 31 against 28. The idle town center time for the Koreans continuing to tick up there. He's maybe over-focusing a little bit on the water and not queuing up villager in the meantime. I wonder if that's going to end up costing him. Just barely not able to take out that one fire ship either, so it's still a close affair here on the water, while on land, ForeRuthless is starting to pull away just a little bit there in terms of villager numbers. Getting the horse color as well, realizing they might need to shift to some farms here, not being able to freely farm or fish on water rather. Lots of low HP fire galleys here. Should potentially think about sending a repair villager here with them, because you could get a lot of value out of those ships. Sadly, J0N-PERKINS not able to realize the low HP on those fire galleys, and oh, there he goes. Okay, he could get 2 kills with that one. Nicely done. In comes the next one, and still we're watching a close fight on water with J0N-PERKINS once more idling their town center, and it's not for the lack of food on their side. It's simply, I think, a lack of attention there. It's a very stressful early game, so I can definitely understand where that is coming from, but it does cost them a lot here, really, having that town center go idle time and time again. So that's going to be ForeRuthless's advantage that they don't know they have, right? They don't know the opponent has actually had some issues with the TC production, and now might lose the scout as well. Gotta be careful there. That's some nice utility unit to still have around, and actually still has those 2 fishing ships. I wonder, he must have produced a few extra ones actually. I don't think the initial ones survived, although the Eco KD is only 1-1, so I think was only one of those Korean ships that ended up going down. Castle Age on the way for J0N-PERKINS, and ForeRuthless is going to follow suit very soon as the blacksmith goes up. In fact, gets it beautifully timed at the end of the town watch research. Nicely done there by the Malians, and just about 20 seconds behind to Castle Age with a slightly better eco, so I think they're going to be taking that trade and be happy with it. Not really paying attention there. I feel like might be better off killing that fire galley first. Okay, it's gonna go down after all. A little bit awkward, and it looks like J0N-PERKINS isn't actually committed onto water anymore. That being said though, there is yet another fire galley from the northern dock. I'm getting a bit mixed signals here from the Koreans. And how are they going to play this? They're getting up to Castle Age, and I think the idea is going to be dropping a castle and getting back onto water that way. With the turtle ships, potentially. Maybe that's what we're going to see. I like the Malians transitioning onto infantry, though. This is definitely early, right? You've won the water for now, but you haven't consolidated that victory yet. So that is a very early transition onto infantry units. But I like that. I don't think the Koreans are going to prepare to deal with this one, and this might cause immense trouble there in J0N-PERKINS' defenses. Looks like the dock is also going down here though, so having both docks cleaned up from the opponent gives ForeRuthless some nice time here in the early Castle Age to set up a military push on land, not needing to fear about water play. And the fishing ships are merely cosmetic at this point. Castle going up though for J0N-PERKINS, so that's going to be a potential spot to get back in on the water. Hopefully it's going to be enough to keep the enemy infantry out as well, but I don't think so necessarily, because he's still a bit open there at multiple points. I don't even think this is... Oh, no, this is fully walled. Okay, good job there. Found a way to effectively seal that one off, and even getting great shots in from the castle. ForeRuthless not paying most attention. He loses 3 fire galleys to the castle fire. He's in Castle Age now. He's got the infantry upgrades that he needs and starting to queue up the man-at-arms. He's already researched the supplies, of course. And here comes the war wagon production. Let's see how Korean war wagons in Castle Age can contend with Malian longswordsmen. I think this is a bad trade for the Koreans about to happen here. Luckily for them, those war wagons are pretty quick on their feet. 1.2 movement speed right now. But the Malian men-at-arms are no slouches themselves. And it's actually here in the north. And you see the movement speed then 0.9 on those longswords. Ooh, getting a bit scared here for the Koreans. I don't think they know about the very proximity of those enemy longswordsmen. And I really gotta say, I'm not the biggest fan of the color red in this game, but it suits those longswordsmen really, really well. Pretty boys over there. As more of them start being produced, and this could really catch J0N-PERKINS off guard here, who's trying to go into war wagon production. He's got 5 of them right now, and he's actually sending them around the northern side to look for some minor raids. Might expose himself even more at home. Look at the pierce armor here. It's 5 pierce armor on the longswordsmen. The attack on the war wagons is 11. So that's definitely not bad. But the numbers for the longswordsmen are going to be quite big. So I wonder if he's going to have enough war wagons to deal with this one. Just 2 of them at home. Oh, this might turn out really badly for J0N-PERKINS. I'm rooting for the Koreans here, if you guys don't know. Oh man, he's getting some good raiding done here at least. Alright, and look at the armor here. 5 pierce armor makes it so they can even tank the TC for a while here. So they are pretty effective raiding units actually, which I hadn't even expected. Good job here. Okay, this is big. J0N-PERKINS has spotted the enemy forward here, seen the barracks, sees the longswordsman coming out. That's valuable information to have. He's actually going for a second castle drop now in the middle here. Interestingly, I mean, that further solidifies a good position on water for him, but I'm not sure that's the #1 priority you should have in mind right now. Either way, monastery also on the way for ForeRuthless. He's making a lot of monks here, and I wonder what the idea is. Monks against war wagons. I don't even know if that's a traditionally good idea, but it seems to be his answer of choice. And in go the longswordsman. There is a hole in the wall here, isn't there? Oh, maybe there isn't. I don't know. It just looked like it. Here's the battle, though. Let's see if the monks can do some damage here. It looks like he's gonna get 1 conversion. Alright, I think he's gonna be fine with that trade. And as I said, the numbers aren't there yet for the Koreans. Gonna need much more than just 7 war wagons, producing more out of 2 castles still. So these numbers are starting to grow quickly. Economy is looking fine. 20-20 on wood and gold, I think, is pretty good here. And let's see if that's gonna yield good benefit. So longswordsmen are being kept out for now. And eco-wise, it is pretty comparable on both sides. But it's 2 against 3 TCs, and a 4th one being added for ForeRuthless. So overall, I don't think this is going to bode too well for J0N-PERKINS. Going to fall behind in eco, and army-wise, it's also not looking great. The longswordsmen are starting to break in, and they can just take out this town center. I'm not sure if arson is in just yet, but if it is, this town center is going to crumble here under the pressure of the longswordsmen. He's not going to bother attacking it, though, apparently. Oh, turns around a bit late. Alright. Either way, another conversion has come through actually here in the west. He's doing a good job with these monks, getting great value out of those. And even Sanctity coming in now, making the monks more robust here. Oh, I like what I'm seeing for ForeRuthless. He's being aggressive and he's pushing in, but the Koreans with their war wagons here, they're not all out of sorts. Able to kill a lot of these longswordsmen already, but the eco damage is real here. Eco KD 6-3 for ForeRuthless, and look at all the idle time mainly. That's a big factor here in this as well. While on 4 town centers, completely left at home are the Malians. No troubles there. Oh man, these war wagons here, they're struggling mightily trying to clean up these longswordsmen. The shots continue to rain in, but it's just such tanky longswordsmen there from the Malians. 5 pierce armor against the 11 attack from the war wagons. It's looking good now. He's getting a few more kills, kiting back, continuing to try and save those war wagons, but more villagers start going down. I'm not sure you want to trade your villagers just to keep the war wagons alive. Oh, it's a rough look here. Look at all the idols for the Koreans. Oh no. Finally having managed to clean up that longswordsman attack. But at what cost, really? You're down 25 in eco. The opponent is in a great spot to kind of take over this game. At least for J0N-PERKINS, he's got some nice map control. Villagers working in the middle. Castle still up at home. And decent walls, at least. Making it difficult for ForeRuthless to break in again. I would love to see the re-wall here on the west. And even adding some stone walls could be a good idea there. For now, it's not any more military, though, from the Malians, and J0N-PERKINS is going to try his luck on the offensive. He's going to need to do some massive damage, though, in order to get back into this one. Demo ships now even being made by the Malians. That could be great damage there. Okay, that was worthwhile. J0N-PERKINS got to pay attention here not to get sniped by the demo ships. Oh, that's another one. Going down here, these poor war wagons trying to get harassment in on the enemy villages. Sneaking into the economy. He's got to make a choice. Either you run through or you don't. I think both are viable choices here. Looks like he decides against it, though. Oh, no, there he goes. Alright, we're slipping in there and trying to get some villager kills. Alright, I like it. I don't think this is terrible. You're probably gonna lose most of these, committing this hard, but ForeRuthless definitely didn't expect the aggression here, and thus needs to idle a lot of villagers himself, losing a few more. Perkins is able to strike back, but still it's a 2 to 4 town center deficit, and the eco is looking pretty bad here. 30 eco gap between these two guys. The war wagons are continuing to do damage on offense, but the monk conversions are going to start turning the tide on this one, it looks. And that war wagon is super tanky, though. Don't think Perkins is going to be able to take it out, and Imp is being approached now by the Malians. Koreans just way behind the curve here, trying to sneak around and find a bit more eco damage before those war wagons are all cleaned up. But ForeRuthless doing a good job pulling the villagers to safety every time, and thus not losing all that much here, although 14 kills on those 5 war wagons are pretty decent. Most of those likely are the longswordsmen from the other side. It's a 17 to 13 eco KD in favor of the Koreans, but with all the extra wills that the quadruple TC production has yielded them, I think the Malians are in a more than fine spot. Still losing some wills in the south, so I have to commend the raiding here by J0N-PERKINS, doing a good job there, keeping the opponent on their toes and getting a few more villages taken down. But overall, it's still a difficult game state to be in. Halfway there to Imp is ForeRuthless. J0N-PERKINS still ways away from that. Castle even going up for the Malians too. And another one being dropped by the Koreans. I guess really wants to fully commit on the war wagons. And at this point, maybe ForeRuthless could start thinking about something like a skirmisher switch. That being said, we see the light cavalry upgrade now come in as well for J0N-PERKINS. And that would be good if the opponent went for skirmishes. Even the monks that he's got right there struggle mightily against light cav, so that's a good idea to add those for the Koreans here. Castle has gone up for the Malians, and Imp is in. So we're now gonna see trebuchets immediately queued up there in the front castle. 4 town centers still behind this, and we're at 90 villages to the Koreans 74. I'm not the biggest fan of this. Also, Koreans haven't gotten back onto water, which is another food source that, with all the map control that they have had, might have been worthwhile. Just tapping into just another 1 or 2 fishing ships with a dock, I think would have been good. Towers now coming out for the Koreans, finally making use of that bonus, but 3 minutes away from Imperial Age, whereas the opponents already got that first trebuchet out. Let's see if that's going to go well. Block printing for the Malians, a huge technology if you're trying to deal with enemy war wagons. Gonna help a lot in trying to get the conversions going. And the trebuchets are starting to work away at those Korean castles here. Let's see how much time J0N-PERKINS can buy themselves with that first castle. Might be thinking about just dropping this one and starting to defend at the back line here. Doesn't look like he's keen on repairing it. crop rotation on the way as well, and even what is that? Chain barding armor for the cavalry. I wonder, it's actually camel riders apparently for the Malians. I wonder why that is. Not even sure you need that, but sure. I guess monks is still the primary focus, and a very late repair there for J0N-PERKINS. Man, if you were trying to use this front castle to buy time and delay the opponent's trebs, I feel like you needed to start repairing way earlier when there was still just one trebuchet hitting the castle. Lycav might surprise ForeRuthless though. Doesn't have anything against that currently. No pikemen out. And that trebuchet could be going down. It is quite tanky. But the Lycav here starting to work away at it. Wow, that was an oh man, that was an expensive attempt. I was gonna say. Trebuchet actually ends up surviving, and lack of forging here probably made the difference. So Perkins not actually able to take out the trebuchet. Camels now trying to engage the war wagons, and that's a few of them falling already. Conversions also being attempted. Light cavalry still being used primarily, but this time against the monks. Oh no, he's hitting the trebuchet! Oh, he's going to lose both Lightcap. He could have cleaned up all those enemy monks there, I think. Oh no, he loses one of them, and the other one goes down. Okay, definitely could have been worse, I guess, but castle ends up going down nonetheless, and losing Lightcap, not able to take out all the monks. I think the strait wasn't all that great for him. At least the camels haven't yielded that much benefit yet either for the Malians. But the monks and trebuchets continue to be a huge issue for J0N-PERKINS, who is now lost grip of the map here, has given up entire map control, and was pushed off of the middle. That imp timing for ForeRuthless was deadly, and now badly housed are the Koreans, losing 2 castles. Man, that happens to me every time as well. I've been there. Ruthless has a big lead, says Phantom in chat. I gotta say, that's absolutely correct. At this point, I fully agree. Eco lead up still is 30, and he's now even taken back the map, so there's nothing really in J0N-PERKINS' favor anymore. Alright, let's see how that goes for the Koreans. I'm not sure what they kind of have to offer here. Some siege, I guess, as the attempted answer. I'm not sure that's a good idea. Siege isn't that great, I don't think. Against against camels and even monks. I'm not sure if Malians get redemption. So far, no more longswords have come in for the Malians, but still Perkins going for that siege. At least he's going for halberdier as well. So that's going to be a very effective answer against the camels, but still nothing against the trebuchets. That's going to continue to be an issue for Perkins. Maybe he's just going to try to push them with a lot of halberdiers. That could work if the opponent is sending nothing but monks and cavalry. So yeah, honestly, I think the halberdier switch is kind of the best choice J0N-PERKINS could have made here. Going to work really fine against all units that the opponent has. Marimba is actually coming in. Oh, sheesh. ForeRuthless with the +4 attack on cavalry. That is going to be deadly. 7+7 attack on those heavy camel riders. Oh man, let's see if those halberdiers are going to dissuade him. Yeah, look at this. He doesn't want to engage halberdier despite having the Farimba. And monks are actually going to be used primarily here, although the micro isn't really there. And thus, yeah, only one conversion so far. Alright, he's being pushed back for now. Those halberdiers have been a very cost-efficient investment, I gotta say. And again, trying to raid with some war wagons here is ForeRuthless, but great, or is J0N-PERKINS, but great reaction by Ruthless, putting up the castle and getting the camels on over in time to clean this up, I expect. Yep, he's going to start melting through those. The Farimba now really paying dividends here. Map still firmly in control of ForeRuthless, but despite not being fully walled up, or even partially walled up, he's got the mobility in order to deal with those raids. Still needs to figure out an answer for the halberdiers though. And tacking into light cavalry now is one thing, but you're gonna need some, well, some anything really to deal with the halberds. Could be some scorpions, could be some infantry, which the latter seems to be the choice ForeRuthless is willing to make. 2 swordsmen on the way. Wouldn't be surprised if we were looking at champions very soon. 2-handed swords on the way, exactly. J0N-PERKINS still working on those last couple of upgrades for the halberdiers, which are very well upgraded, I should say. So they are going to be a terror for the enemy's camels. But you need more than that. You need something against the longswords as well. And you need something against the trebuchets. I still think maybe some light cav with better upgrades might be a good idea, just to have them against the monks and trebuchets. Still for now only halberdiers being produced though. So once those 2-handers start coming out for Ruthless, I think the halberdiers are going to start folding quickly, so you need something else as well. And the siege isn't really there. We got a 1 scorpion and 1 mangonel unupgraded, so that's not what you like to see if you're rooting for the Koreans such as me. I don't know. Okay, we're getting some trebuchets now for J0N-PERKINS, trying to push the castle in the middle, presumably. Still got a few war wagons around, but I like the choice of ForeRuthless to just, yeah, do away with that raiding annoyance and keeping the mouse with the stone wall. Good investment there. Let's focus in on the battle at the front though. Trebuchet starting to snipe away at the castles, but the Farimba camels are starting to just dive in there, take out the trebuchets, and they'll be out in no time. Champions or 2-handers actually being here, but champion upgrade about to complete as well. That's gonna be terror for the halberdiers. They're gonna get completely wiped here. And the camels in the south, even if they're taking some heavy losses, they're gonna be able to take out the trebuchets. I think ForeRuthless is winning the game here. And J0N-PERKINS agreed. Apparently. 1-0 for ForeRuthless, who takes the neutral map in the series, which oftentimes is a big victory. That can set yourself up for success going forward. It was an entertaining game though. Let's check the ecos out there in the end. Yeah, we got Malians who were kind of ahead throughout the entire game in terms of villages. Perkins had a good little castle age push, but wasn't ultimately able to do a lot of damage there, and then just with the imp timing got rolled there out of the middle. And once the tech and the army build-up was complete for the Malians, there really wasn't anything Perkins had to offer to push back against that anymore. Alright. That's game 1 then. Let's check out this draft. So we go into the home map for J0N-PERKINS. Sadly, no Koreans victory. But what was his home map again? Nomad. Alright, so game 2 on Nomad. And we're gonna have Portuguese against Khmer on this map. Is that right? Yep, it is. We'll see if he can bounce back. He really needs this victory in order to stay alive in the tournament. It's best of 3, of course, remember. So 1 more loss for J0N-PERKINS and he's out. He's got Portuguese on Nomad, his home map, to try and make it count and stay alive in the tournament. ForeRuthless is going to try and close it out here with Khmer, a very interesting civ that I haven't seen a lot of lately. At the start of the event, I was casting a few of their games, but I don't think really on Nomad just yet. So let's see how they do here. Town center's going up. Got Perkins building it kind of in the very south. And ForeRuthless over here in the east. A little bit late on it, starting with just 1 villager. So Perkins gonna get that villager production going a little bit faster. Oh, this is funny. Wow, they were actually trying to put the dock in the exact same spot. I don't think I've seen that before, guys. What the hell? They actually tried to click the exact same spot? no chance. But it was J0N-PERKINS who was able to get there first and put it down. ForeRuthless having to now move a bit to the side. Alright, this is a funny start already. So let's check out the Civ matchup before the gameplay starts taking off here. Down 1-0, back against the wall on his home map is J0N-PERKINS playing as the Portuguese. Civilization well known for mainly their super late game with the Fatorius, where they're just a pain to clean up and deal with. It's a long way to get there though. Extra HP on ships is really nice on water maps, and this one here oftentimes features some heavy water play, so decent bonus to have for J0N-PERKINS. The Caravel as a warship might also help out in trying to contest that water. Organ guns, one of the more famous units, and of course got heavily revamped in the April update. Thank God I was able to mute that. Either way, that's the Portuguese. Oh yeah, the organ guns, heavily revamped. Haven't been as positively viewed lately after that patch. But I also don't think I've seen them be played on Nomad lately. So we'll see if they can do some damage here. Alright then, on the other side in the east, we've got Ruthless on the Chimera. They, well, are well-known gimmicky Civ. Everybody is terrified of those late-game ballista elephant stacks that just melt absolutely everything that steps in their way. The Scorpion Civ, basically the original Romans, if we take the latest DLC news at face value. But also, of course, popular bonus there, jumping in and out of houses with villagers whenever you get a rest. And on a map that's sometimes is chaotic, such as Nomad here, where resources tend to be spread out at times, it can be really valuable just having a house nearby wherever your villagers are working, on the gold, on the wood, on the stones, wherever they're spread out. Just having that house available, you can always jump in there and save those villagers. Although, of course, that is not ideal. It's only like a get out of jail card, but definitely not for free. You are paying for that with some idle time. Big thing also, by the way, that buildings are not required to advance to the next age for the Khmer, so you're really flexible there and can get some quicker uptimes and quicker builds going that on Nomad might be able to really do a number on the opponent if you're able to find out quickly where they are and get a good timing there. Yeah, so that's the Khmer for y'all. We'll see if they actually end up going for that one building Dark Age. Of course, other parties have to drop more eco buildings there in order to be able to click up. And we see, for example, J0N-PERKINS having opted for the mill in addition to the dock, and that is not necessary for the Khmer in this instance. In terms of starting location, we've got a little bit of food for the Khmer here, not a lot of boars or deer around, but there's still some food sources if he's lucky enough to find them. In terms of stone and gold, he's gonna be happy though. He doesn't have super nearby gold, so he needs to do some work in securing those resources, but if he's able to locate and secure them, I think this is a nice little corner for the red player. Here at the south for the Portuguese, looking a bit better, actually looking like a traditional Arabia spawn. Look at this, you've got a close wood line, you've got berries in TC range, you've got a main stone and a main gold that you're not going to complain about, man. This is really decent start, even still some deers around in the south. So I don't think he's going to be mad with what he's found for himself there. And maybe that is what he needed in order to push the series to the decider game 3. He, of course, cannot afford to lose this map. Feudal Age in already for the Khmer. That is part of the thing I pointed out earlier, not needing that second building, actually only putting it up now and going on to gold early. So maybe this is just a fast castle actually by the Khmer, although on 16 villages that castle isn't actually going to be that fast. he's still going to be lacking that economy, so it's much more likely to be some sort of an archer push maybe. Let's see if with that sheep here, where he was actually able to scout the opponent. J0N-PERKINS himself hasn't quite found the opponent's base yet. Doing a bit of scouting here with the villager, having seen that the opponent was trying to put up his dock somewhere nearby. It might be a good idea to continue looking around there. And maybe he's going to end up finding that enemy town center sometime soon. Feudal Age is in ForeRuthless while J0N-PERKINS has just clicked up, so that is a good timing advantage. And Perkins has now managed to find those enemy houses, so I think he's gotten a good idea of where the enemy town center might be at. Hasn't actually found it just yet, but I think that's okay. Just knowing generally where the opponent is at can be really good. What is that situation like for ForeRuthless? Oh yeah, he's done a good job scouting with the sheep, was able to find the enemy base. Let's see if there's gonna be a push happening here. He's got a lot on gold really, so yeah, I'm expecting archers honestly, but he's actually going heavily into water first. Yeah, fire ships for now, so that's nothing crazy, although we saw yesterday, especially I think it was Hitman, or I'm not sure who it was, I think it was Hitman, arguing for actually making galleys first when you're first to Feudal Age, that galleys are faster at taking out enemy fishing ships than the fire ships are. And ForeRuthless kind of missed the opponent's fishing economy there, just sailed right by it. I think didn't realize that they were fishing in this little week here the entire time. Finally is able to find them out. That's going to be some damage here onto J0N-PERKINS. So only now manages to get to Feudal Age and no ships being produced. So is he actually going to give up water and just go fast castle? It looks like that is exactly what he's got in mind. Market blacksmith up, and we see the fast castle for the Portuguese. Is this a super classic organ gun play? Is he gonna go onto stone? He is. Wow, is this? I'm not sure I agree with this. Portuguese really as if that's kind of predestinated to go for water play, and he's completely disregarding it, giving up those fishing ships. Maybe got discouraged by that difference in Feudal Age time, or maybe it was the plan the entire time to just go for the fast castle. Either way, he's on the way to Castle Age, and the Khmer are still ways away from that. At least they also made a good choice not to over-invest in Navy, and actually realizing that the opponent isn't making any warships right here. Even getting horse collar now. Oh, I don't think that's a good choice. I don't think you need horse collar before Castle Age on this map if you're able to hold on to your fishing economy. Instead, just make a few more fishing ships. That's gonna get you a much better food eco than going onto farms right now, and puts the Castle Age time even further behind. I am getting a bit nervous for the Khmer here already. Portuguese seeming to be able to get away scot-free with that fast castle, although they have now pulled some villages off of the stone, so it's not going to be the immediate castle drop there by J0N-PERKINS, which he very well might have gotten away with, honestly. But of course doesn't know that the Khmer don't have anything on land here, any military that is. So maybe just a safer play to kind of go, not go as ham at some military first. Maybe go for another town center actually before you drop any castles. Although the food and wood eco reload really doesn't support that for ForeRuthless. He's sitting at 24 villages in Castle Age. You don't see that very often. But yeah, everything can happen on Nomad, so not all that surprising in the end. ForeRuthless about to be able to click up to Castle Age 2. There he goes, 2.5 minutes away from that. About to clean up the enemy dock as well. And J0N-PERKINS doesn't seem to bother getting back onto water. And still all at home, going into knights for now. And trying to, yeah, maybe find some harassment with that was a good idea, I think. Way up early to castle against the Khmer, who might not even have a barracks yet for all you know. So, yeah, there he goes. 3 knights, I mean, that's good enough, right? Just get on over there and try to get some damage going early. The eco is looking a bit rough. It's the fishing differential here that's really going to start snowballing if J0N-PERKINS isn't able to land any counter damage and isn't getting back onto water himself. So he really needs to make this damage count against the Khmer here. Goes on forward, actually spots the enemy tower here, which this looks super beautiful. Look at the structure. It almost looks like it's one building here, the 2 houses with the tower. It's a really, really good architecture, giving bonus style points for the Khmer player. But the knights so far, picking off 2 villagers, not bad, but a lot more is going to need to follow if you want to make up for that eco difference stemming from water play. Now, with that loss of this house over here, J0N-PERKINS even ends up getting housed, and up to Castle Age is ForeRuthless, who, if he's going to add a monastery, might just be fine against these knight raids. Losing another villager, though, first. Unfortunate for him. Probably should have just hopped into these houses. I'm not sure he forgot, maybe, that he's Khmer in that instance there. And actually has the ability to jump in and out of houses, which should make these knight raids very difficult to pull off. But kudos to J0N-PERKINS, who's been able to get some nice picks here, and he actually kills another one. Man, 4 villager kills already on these knights as one of them dies. But it could have been worse, and where's the monastery now for ForeRuthless? I don't see any. I wonder why. I feel like that would be a good choice. Although, if you don't expect a lot of knight play, if you think that's just 3 knights and that's it for your opponent, then maybe adding a monastery would be a little bit overly scared. He's actually going for the defensive castle now, which is fine. It protects decent amount of resources. I feel like a bit further south would have been a good choice for him there, but he invests all of his stone into this castle. Can't actually build another town center for quite some time now. Same thing is true for J0N-PERKINS though. He tried to put up a castle here on offense, cancels that one, and he's now sitting on 800 stone, still not having dropped a second town center. I'm not sure I agree with this. He's trying to pressure from the north now with a castle drop there. That could work, certainly. But if Ruthless is able to get a little bit of cavalry out, maybe he's going to be able to deal with that one. Finally, we see a second TC for J0N-PERKINS. I think that was well needed, and good choice getting that up now. Although with 1 villager, it's gonna take some time. And the eco is now pretty much even between these 2 guys. Although ForeRuthless is adding a few more fishing ships, and I think that's a good choice, being that the opponent has shown no intent of getting back on water. These villagers aren't pathing very well though. Don't lose the castle. Don't lose it. Alright, he's gonna get that up. In come the knights, again trying to find some damage. More villagers being brought forward, trying to get the castle up, which almost certainly is going to complete. Finally some monks there, good choice by ForeRuthless. And trying to find some luck there, not able to get a conversion just yet. But this castle isn't going to be a terrible thing, as the stone wasn't even being taken currently by ForeRuthless, who still has the other stone here in the east. Because as I said, he's got plenty of resources in the vicinity of his town center. The movement on these knights is really good, not taking any unnecessary damage while being able to distract the castle fire. And that watchtower is going to down too. So the castle was successfully put up by J0N-PERKINS. Just putting up a monastery behind it, interestingly. I wonder if he's expecting knights from the Khmer as well. Potentially might be expecting that. And at home with that second town center sitting fine. And it's got a really nice food economy actually. Look at those 13 farms here. And the villagers here gathering berries for the time being, meaning so he can definitely supply 2 or 3 town centers of food production. Has halted the knight production though, so I wonder what the overall goal is here now with 4 knights, queuing up a few monks actually, and looks like J0N-PERKINS is looking for the occasional raid such as this one. Great value out of that, really. He's been doing excellent work with those knights that he's got around. And ForeRuthless, despite being Khmer, having fallen surprisingly easily victim to those enemy raids throughout the game. Let's see if this is open actually. It's a bit difficult to tell, but I don't think so. Only at the very edge can you get through there. No, it's now attacking that dock. Alright. So it looks to me like J0N-PERKINS is actually going more so on the defensive with that second town center, trying to get an eco lead and getting monks to defend with. I'm not sure that is the best spot to make them. Is he looking to get redemption and start converting the enemy buildings? It is a bit odd to me going for monks in the forward monastery, right? But maybe he's just trying to defend here. He's got more town centers. Who knows? Khmer players oftentimes like to go into knights. But, yeah, I'm a bit confused about the monastery there. Going in with a few knights again, and he's able to find maybe a few villager picks again. Although Ruthless with the quick reaction, I think, was able to get all of these wills out of harm's way. And might be able to take out a few knights in the process. Yep, one of them ends up being sniped. Another one on 1 HP here, or whatever that is. Yeah, exactly. 1 HP. Unfortunate, but could just heal them up, actually. Oh, interesting. Atonement. So we're going for monks against monks and trying to push with knights that way. If we're doing that, though, why are we not making more knights ourselves? That's what I'm wondering. Either way, trying to convert some enemy monks and go from there. Why are we not healing up our knights? Just put them in the castle or pop out with some knights and heal with some monks and heal them up. Man, that's a wasted opportunity. Poor knight. I mean, this guy's limping on one leg. The horse has suffered multiple cardiac arrests and been resurrected to life. And there's a guy who's got, and there's like the best doctors in the entire world are sitting in this building, but they're like, no, we're on lunch break right now, dude. Nothing we can do for you, my man. And thus, poor man has to go back into battle on 1 HP. F's in the chat for him. Night raids continuing here, and finally most of them are being taken out. It is a bit weird there. J0N-PERKINS on the way to Imp now, but he's just stacked monks in this building, has refused to use them for anything, gathered 0 relics, healed 0 knights, converted 0 enemy monks or units, and yeah, at least he's been active with the knights. I mean, that's the one thing I can definitely compliment him on. Even with the warbagons in the game before, he's been able to find some creative raids, and that I can appreciate. I'm not sure his build was ideal though here in Castle Age. He is up to Imp about 2 minutes before the opponent, and maybe with traps he can restart a good push. He's down 10 eco now though, because ForeRuthless has expanded into 3 town centers and has had a good time here actually defending against those knights, even without any walls. I wonder why he's just refusing to wall up at all, because he's got this nice little corner for himself, but no walls coming out from him, and he's got the stone. It's not like he doesn't have any stone. He's got stone lying around here. Could use that to wall up and make those knight plays much less hurtful. Now gonna have to do with trebuchets. Imp coming in for J0N-PERKINS. There he goes. Alright, clock is ticking. There goes the trebuchets. Alright. What do we have behind it though? It's 6 knights again for him. He's built them back up and he's actually going for light cavalry apparently behind this. Trying to make that his primary weapon against the enemy monks, I assume. Block printing also coming out though. With block printing, your monks can really be a good tool against those enemy monks. And most importantly, you just need this castle to go down. No more traps being queued up. This trap not being used yet. You can't lose this valuable seconds if the opponent is on the way to imp still. This is Perkins' game to lose here. It's his home map. He's up to imp first. He's down 10 eco, so it's definitely not surefire victory yet. But he's got to start pushing here, and I think he's in an okay spot going from there. Alright, the castle is going to start being trapped away yet. And Trebuchet is doing work. Actually, it changes now to the town center here in the middle. And keep switching fire. I'm not sure what that is all about. But Imp is now in for ForeRuthless as well. And he's going to start queuing up those traps too. Both of these guys on just one castle. That simplifies things a lot. But J0N-PERKINS actually, as the knights start coming in, the monks going for those conversions, I think that's going to be a big win for him. Only gets one of them, but still, that's nice. He'll take that one. And ForeRuthless has no answer against those enemy traps, against the Lightcap or the knights. The only thing he's got are a few knights and a few monks himself, but enemy numbers outnumbering him heavily in both those categories. So it's a rough look here. The only thing kind of working for him still here is the height advantage, or oh boy, the knights come in. He wants to press this issue. Takes out that trebuchet, takes out the monk as well. Then the castle is soon to fall. Man, I think he's actually doing it here. I don't think Ruthless can stop this raid from actually completely taking over everything. The trebuchet even popping out, the villagers follow as well, the castle is going down. And is that the game already? It's so weird because Ruthless's economy numbers look so fine, but he has no army whatsoever. He's got a few knights now, but those might just get converted right back here. And yeah, that's exactly what ends up happening. Oh boy, town center goes down too. The knights are all over the place. And Ruthless is trying to get whatever response he can out on the map. Organ guns even being added for Ruthless, for Perkins. I'm not sure that is a good choice. I think just keep sticking to knights, Lycap, traps, monks. That's worked so well for him. Gotta keep moving the traps forward and raid the enemy eco, and I think Ruthless is about to collapse here. He's got 0 military on the field, a few Lycaf, that's all. And at least he's able to find some picks on those monks with them. So credit, he's finding some value and able to trade back a little bit. But he's got nothing to protect his eco with, honestly. And he calls the GG. J0N-PERKINS able to tie the series up on his home map. That was nicely played on the Portuguese here. Actually completely surrendering water in Feudal Age. And it's paying off for him here. He's forcing a decider and trying to reverse sweep the series. In order for that to happen, though, he's going to have to win a game on the opponent's home map here. The last game, winner take all. Islands once more here to decide the affair. Yeah, wouldn't have minded Arabia, gotta be honest with y'all. But well, we'll take what we can get, and it's islands for J0N-PERKINS and ForeRuthless to decide which of these two gens takes the second round victory and ends up being probably the lowest seeded semi-final member out of any bracket that I've cast so far. Seeds 13 or 12 reaching the semis, almost unheard of here. Big credit to these guys. And we're going into the last game here on Islands. Let's hop right in. I'm super stoked to see how this one turns out. J0N-PERKINS is the Berbers against ForeRuthless as the Mongols. Oh boy, I love to see it. That's my boys here. That's what we were waiting for. The race car on and just get those emotes ready. But also, get the Mango Die emotes ready in chat as well. This is gonna be a treat to watch, hopefully. Now all of a sudden I'm kind of pulling for ForeRuthless. I was pulling for the Koreans in game 1, but Mongols here, I can't help myself. That bias is strong and well. Berbers on the other side, they're always a Civ that I also love a lot. Really cool Civ too, so yeah, J0N-PERKINS, you can do it still. I believe in both of you here. Let's look at the civ bonuses here. We're on islands. The early game is gonna trickle along quietly. And the Berbers are a really cool civ for water as well. They've got faster moving villages. They've got discount on their stable units. So that's great. Especially Castle and Imp. Right when those discounts start kicking in, Knights can become a real flood, overwhelming the opponent there. But also, you've got faster moving ships, and that can be really cool with galleys, with fire ships. That helps out in all regards. Yeah, I love the camel archers and Genitours as well. Genitours against Mangudai sounds like a great matchup, actually. I haven't played that a lot as a Mongol player myself, but it sounds like that might give him some trouble there if J0N-PERKINS got up enough Janitours. But then again, ForeRuthless isn't forced to play into Mangudai. Could go for Step Lancers, could go for, well, for a lot of things, because Mongols are really flexible. Some archer plays also definitely in the cards. Let's see what they end up choosing to do here. That's it though for now for the Berbers. Camel civ as well, of course. So there's a couple of dimensions to them. Now, for my Mongols over here in the east, we love to see it. On islands, though, that's not maybe the most intuitive map. I've practiced a few Mongols builds for this map, and I've come to the decision that my favorite one is just go past castle, make the crossing, put up a stable, and get step lancers on the enemy. Step lancers are created so fast and are relatively cheap for the raiding power that they provide. So I think step lancer raids are one of your best bets on this map. I love to see it. Unless you want to play like a boring water type game, make 50 galleys, but that's not what we're here for. We want to see those step lancer raids here, preferably. Can also go for regular archers in feudal age though if you want to get creative. So there's angles you can take here. Let's look at the bonuses. You've got the way faster working hunters, so the food eco in the early game is super fast. Can hit some amazing timings with that. You've got extra HP on light cav line and step lancers, so also difficult to deal with the opponent. Looks like there was a pause here for a second, but they got back going. And yeah, as I was saying, those step lancers with 30% extra HP, pretty difficult to clean up for the opponent if you're able to, if you're able to get a few of them in their economy before they have any military. If they don't spot your landing and you get like 4 step lancers in there, by the time they get their spearmen out, you're just running rings around their base, and honestly, once those spearmen start coming out, you can easily one-shot them. Like, I've done this lots of times myself. If you get forging and you get like 5 step lancers, you one-shot enemy spearmen before they can even attack you once, because of the range that step lancers have. So again, I really think this is a viable play on this map, going for fast castle landing into step lancers. You gotta be sneaky about that though, and not let the opponent know, because that might be terrible. Now, best thing about the Mongols, of course, is, as the illustration on screen would suggest, the race car onagers in Imperial Age drill the best tech in the game. Man, that's a joy. Racing around the map with your onagers, with all siege workshop weapons really, but onagers primarily. Man, you love to stick it to the archer players, or with this to the skirmisher spammers, even to the halberdier enthusiasts. Stone cast to the face is all I say. Man, love to see that. So hopefully we get there. I would also already be pleased with some fun step lancer action. I'm pulling for ForeRuthless to make stuff happen in the early game. We get a 21 villager up for him. Oh, that's definitely fast castleable. It looks like he's gonna go for naval play first and foremost though. It looks like double dog, regular naval units. Fair enough. I mean, I'm just saying, if I'm clicking up with 21 villagers, I'm going for fast castle every time. I'm just saying, I'm not having it. Guys, there's no way. 3 fishing ships for ForeRuthless. J0N-PERKINS, again, only 1 here. That is a bit curious. Maybe the eco wasn't quite as balanced. Maybe struggled a bit with wood, whatever the reason. He's gonna put up that second dock. He's a bit later to fuelation. He doesn't have the second dock up yet, so ForeRuthless is going to get the fire galley production started quicker than the Berbers. Maybe that can yield them a nice little early advantage on water. It should, in any case. And we actually see J0N-PERKINS expecting a landing, possibly, going for those outposts here. Well, that would certainly have worked against me, but it looks like ForeRuthless is going a bit more of a traditional approach, and let's see if he's gonna find success with it. He's getting out onto the map first. The idle TC time's pretty good for both of them, but the docks working faster here, or were being put to work earlier, I should say, ForeRuthless, who, as the Mongols here, is trying to make stuff happen on water. He's gonna try and see where's the opponent's fish, where are their docks. I don't think he's done any scouting yet in that regard, and he might not be going for fast castle. He might not have any transport ships out yet, but he's got those fires forward and is starting to look for the opponent. I think you would always want to check the front of the enemy first. I'm not sure you want to go to the back and look for their docks there, but he is gonna find a fishing ship on the front now, with the Berbers having left home. And check out those movement speeds here. 1.43 on the Berbers ships, 1.30 on the Mongols. So that's going to be difficult if the opponent's ships are just as strong as yours, but faster moving. That can be a bit difficult. And so far, ForeRuthless has taken good trades here, but I mean, we don't know if Perkins gets enough ships out. That might be a problem. The extra movement speed, always able to pull out of there, repair them back up. That could give the Mongols some trouble down the road. So far the skirmishes have not gone bad, although that being said, he's taken a bad fight up here in the north right now, and I think is going to lose both those fire ships. Yeah, that's not looking too great. Bit difficult. Nobody going for anything other than fires just yet. No galleys, no demos. Just standard trying to outfire each other so far, and Perkins actually now running that fire galley. As I said, you have that extra movement speed, so if you are working well with your repair villages, I think water play is really one of the strong suits here for the Berbers early on, and it looks like he's taking really good trades so far. The KD is 3-2 in favor of J0N-PERKINS, but it's being kept close by Ruthless here, and almost got another pick there. Third dock attempted to be put up by J0N-PERKINS now. All those fire ships, I think they're just being given away a little bit too easily there by the Mongols. He's gonna lose another, and he's not focusing the same ships there. Even the demo coming out. Alright, it's looking like a decisive water victory for J0N-PERKINS here to start off, and demolition general rafts also going to be queued up for the Mongols, who are trying to put up a third dock themselves, but are a little bit late on that one. So water going in favor of J0N-PERKINS early. Villager numbers looking good for ForeRuthless though, who has managed to clean up that enemy fishing ship. So for the time being, should be able to collect a few extra resources here. Ruthless is losing water, not the best micro, says Phantom in chat. Yeah, I agree there. Wasn't like J0N-PERKINS micro awesome there, didn't pull away those low HP ships every time, didn't use repair villages, but was good enough. And ForeRuthless not focusing the same ships there with all of his galleys and firing at docks at times has really cost him there, I believe, and it's going to be a bit difficult. We see the transport ship now coming out for J0N-PERKINS. That's a very early transport to put in there. It looks like he feels he's won water for now, and he's trying to get on over to the opponent and punish that immediately. That's a good demo shot here, and ForeRuthless has beaten back the forward fires for the time being. I still wonder if Perkins is going to go for the voyage across. Anyways, it looks like he is loading up 3 villagers. Just the man, the woman stays behind. Man, I guess she might have forgot left on the stove and thus went back to check. Rip her. Doc's starting to be taken out here on the front for Ruthless, and all of a sudden he's kind of turned the fortunes on water because J0N-PERKINS way too early stopped the production of warships. Now he's got that ace up his sleeve, gonna pull off the landing here, and he's not been spotted so far. So the Mongols don't know that this is going on while they're pushing forward with their ships on water. Still, the men have now landed here, and they're gonna try and mess with the Mongols at home. Stable goes up. Oh boy. Oh boy, ForeRuthless has really good resources. He doesn't really have wood. Otherwise I would say, man, just go up to Castle Age, but that second building is still missing. And for additional fire ships about to make the journey back home from Perkins, who has been heavily outnumbered on water now. I feel like he's given up that water lead a bit too easily and loses another fire ship there to the demo. This landing has got to land a huge punch if you want to actually stay in this game. No fishing economy anymore and a huge discrepancy in warships. J0N-PERKINS is in a rough spot on the sea. But he's got this stable up there and he's gonna try to do some light cav raids here in Castle Age, it looks like. I wonder why. I guess scouts is the best thing he can offer for now. But Ruthless doesn't have vision of this yet, so he's not aware of the landing having taken place. He's taken good trades on water, at least in the last 3 or 4 minutes, and able to clean up this push as well. So, man, J0N-PERKINS is really putting all eggs into this one basket here. This might not be as long of an islands game as I had feared, as the fire galleys start going down, and that's going to be the last dock, isn't it? Wow, he had 3 docks and the third one has just gone down. So Perkins really trapped on their own island. A minute late to Castle 8. Well, maybe a bit less actually. It looks like 40 seconds difference there in the Castle Age timings. But the 2 stables there, which are going to look to spit out knights, it seems, as soon as Castle Age is being met. And Ruthless getting there first. Wonder what their plan is now. They have not tried any landings. They've just taken out those enemy docks and are now looking to see where there is any more docks. He knows that there's an outpost. That is crucial intel. So that lets him know that there might be some more outposts around this island, and the opponent might be covered against landings. And no transport ships yet for the Mongols. Perkins, having now also arrived in Castle Age, immediately queues up both these stables fully with knights. And he's gonna try and see if he can make a big push happen. ForeRuthless going for that second TC, completely oblivious to the happenings on the eastern part of his land. Oh, there's scout cavalry, there's a few knights in there, and no barracks even just yet for the Mongols at home. This could be devastating amounts of impact, but if it is not, the Mongols should be able to run away with this game. So kind of everything is being staked on this push here from the very beautiful mixed cavalry battalion. Oh boy, this could be the tournament lives of ForeRuthless and J0N-PERKINS coming down to this very push. The villagers are starting to take damage here. J0N-PERKINS taking out a few already, and no barracks yet, remember, for Ruthless, so he can't even start beginning that spearman production. Yet more knights arrive, and these are numbers of villagers going down here. Still only 2 town centers for the Mongols, so you can't even garrison all of your villages in. The eco numbers, they've got a slight advantage here, but the raiding starts on land, and honestly, he doesn't have the wood. He can't afford barracks and spearmen right now. Otherwise I would have said, start producing a lot of fishing ships now. If you were at all able to afford fishing ships, this could save you in this game. Because the opponent cannot harass your naval economy at all. On land it looks like you're gonna take massive losses though, so I would have loved to see some more fishing ships out of him. He's got 9 already. Those are gonna be crucial in trying to sustain him through this push. He's gonna try and keep the knights out of his eco for as long as possible, but he's losing villagers on so many different places. And the Berbers even putting up a town center on his very island now with those villagers that have landed. This game has accelerated dramatically at the start of Castle Age here, and both these guys really want this victory. It was ForeRuthless's home map. He's heavily on the back foot here now. He's gotta manage to stay alive. He's able to save a lot of villagers. He's still got more than the opponent, but the knights are into the wood eco, and I think that is going to change soon, that villager advantage that I just mentioned. Oh, he's just now been able to put up the barracks. He doesn't have pikemen research yet. He's got a lot of gold. I think if I'm ForeRuthless, I just have to take the loss here and buy a lot of food and wood. Buy myself that pikeman upgrade and start queuing up pike. Oh, he has the pikeman upgrade. My apologies. Okay, that was good then. Really nice for him. Maybe he's going to be able to fight this back, but he's losing so many villagers in the process. How long can he keep this going? He's still got the score lead. Maybe that's going to give him hope. But the knights are running an absolute rampage on his townfolk here. Look at all the bodies spread around the town center there. Pikemen are trying to do the best they can, but he just doesn't have the numbers yet. He needs to stack more of them. He can't send them out one by one here. That's not how pikemen work against knights, and oh, look at the knights once more, slaughtering everything in their way. This is great impact damage here. The castle at home even for J0N-PERKINS. What? How was he able to afford that one? And he's got 15 knights on the opponent's islands who are asking questions that ForeRuthless right now is not able to answer. And he's losing so much here. The monks now trying to come out here out of the monastery. That's a decent response there, but a bit late as well. Oh man, he's still got 500 gold. I feel like he should have used that to get a quicker response going to this knight raid. Because knights are just the most powerful units here in Castle Age, at least at the start of it. Monasteries even going to go down, and those poor monks. Get the monks out of there and get them into the town center. You need those to stay alive, really, if you want to have any chance at surviving this night raid. Oh, it's 2 TCs for the Berbers. They're booming ahead in villager numbers. The knights come out, but why is this man just walking to the front line? Oh no, he's gonna go down, isn't he? He's got the conversion off. This is big though. Okay. 2 knight conversions for ForeRuthless. 9 remaining. Forward casted by the Berbers. If this one goes up, that's gonna be super difficult to push back for ForeRuthless, who is now on 40 villages and so far behind here. The score lead has also changed hands, and J0N-PERKINS is now definitely in the lead in this one. Berbers with the surprise landing, and my beloved Mongols actually looking like they might lose the game here. ForeRuthless. Is he going to go out of the tournament like this, or does he have any tricks left up his sleeve to make a stand in this one? He's got a few monks on the field now. Maybe that can help fending off those knights. He doesn't have any pressure though on the opponent's eco, and he's now got a castle and a town center on his island to deal with. It's gone out of control so fast for the Mongols, and they're still not able to stabilize. Still stuck on 2 town centers and down 25 villages. I don't see him coming back in this one. And what a comeback from J0N-PERKINS, looking like he's about to reverse sweep these quarterfinals here and move on to the top 4 as the 13th seed in bracket H. Mangonel now going forward. He's going balls to the wall deep here. Oh, even the camel archer on top. He's really got tough army composition here. ForeRuthless with the converted knights trying to make good trades happen. Able to take out the Mangonel. Okay, that one didn't work for J0N-PERKINS, who's up 25 eco at this point. 11 fishing ships for the Mongols. Maybe those can carry them. But let's compare the resources collected at this point. It's 3,000 more, 3,500 more for J0N-PERKINS and his Berbers. Oh my god. ForeRuthless. How can you turn this one around? The monastery on 66 HP. Just barely. Man, this building, like that, this building is nothing more than a foundation and two wooden bars forming a cross, RIP, carved in there by Berber raiders. And Camel Archers seems to be now the main unit that Perkins intends going for. Doesn't really have the upgrades for them yet, but if he does, maybe that's a good choice against those enemy knights. Needs a few more upgrades though, and a bit bigger numbers, I feel, if he wants to make them work as a good unit there. ForeRuthless trying to push back again with the knight. Looks like he's about to be able to take out another Mangonel, but that's not going to be enough. Knight falls. Camel Archer is just too potent there. And what does he have left here? He's put up a stable of his own. He's not on the enemy island yet at all. No, nothing on the neutral islands either. He's trapped at home here with a madman. That's completely harassing him on all sides. A third town center put up. But booming back into this, down almost 30 villagers, I'm not sure that that's gonna yield any success at all. The monks still are a good unit against those knights, but knights are no longer everything that John Perkins has to offer. And that forward, man, what a heroic landing by these three men that, if their names were known, they would never be forgotten. Sadly for them, units in Age don't really have names, so as far as we know, yeah, rip them. But this one is looking so difficult, man. It's 40 eco, it's 30 eco ahead for John Perkins. He's getting another castle up there, and he calls it right then and there. What a series! Man, I don't think I promised too much. This is one of my favorite series so far. I love the good sportsmanship in chat here. ForeRuthless sadly goes out there reverse swept after winning the neutral map in game 1. Great performances there by John Perkins in games 2 and 3. Sadly, my two civs, the Koreans and the Mongols, ended up losing, so a bit salty about that, I can't lie. But what a worthy winner here, John Perkins as the 13th seed. He's got a spot secured in the quarterfinals of Group H. So I would show you guys the bracket, but I don't want to spoil anybody that hasn't seen the previous series yet. If you want to check out any other games from this tournament that I've cast, best place to do that is my YouTube channel with the Pick Your Poison WODs playlist. You can see all the casted games there, as well as the 2 series that I played myself. But yeah, that's that. Great series casts today. That was a joy. Congrats to John Perkins, also to ForeRuthless. Great performances from both these guys so far. And that's it then. Maybe I'll cast another series later tonight. I'll let you guys know on Discord. And if not, I'll be back tomorrow. So thanks for joining me. And yeah, continue showing love to the tournament.